I am not StockCar Scott, and this is his little show about racing. He calls In the Pits. And the Pits is brought to you thanks to generous sponsorship of Monte Carlo Express Delivery. Monte Carlo Express Delivery, serving the courier needs of Seattle area for the last decade. Please like us on Facebook.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jamie. You did that very well. And I'd like to welcome everyone to In the Pits, and especially my younger brother, Jamie Sams.
Thank you very much.
Who's come up here to visit his old brother during his happy birthday weekend. It was my birthday yesterday. Should I tell everybody how old I am? 58. I'm 58. Anyway, so he came up to visit, see a little racing this weekend, and spent a little time with his older brother. So I'm very happy to have me some company this weekend. But racing is what we're here to talk about, and we'll talk about TV racing first because there was a little bit there on TV. The Saturday night race was the nationwide race at Atlanta, and it was, from what I understand, because I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, it was just totally dominated by Kevin Happy Harvick.
Yeah, Harvick.
Yeah, we got a Harvick fan right over here, longtime Harvick fan, and I'm looking forward to seeing it because he did it in a Junior Motorsports Camaro, and I'm just looking forward to seeing how badly he actually whooped everybody. But the other races on TV happened on Sunday. First was the truck race, and it was in Canada. It was a road course race at Mosport, which is in Ontario, I do believe, Ontario province. So they raced there last year, and it turned out kind of messy when Chase Elliott bumped Ty Dillon out of the way in the last turn to win the race, but he just figured it was something he needed to do to win the race.
Bump's a nice word to use.
Well, it was nice, and Ty Dillon was not too happy about it, but neither of them were there this year. They're busy nationwide racing. The two that led the last lap there, that had the big contest going on during the last lap, were points leader Ryan Blaney, son of Dave Blaney. Finally tried to get his name right. And, this is going to be a tough name. Herman Quiroga from Mexico. Even though it looks like German, we were explained that it was Herman. So, Herman Quiroga. And the two of them had a great race there on the last lap. It was anybody's race, it really was, but Ryan Blaney was able to cleanly keep away from Herman during most of the last lap there, and then Herman got around him a little bit, cleanly during the whole thing.
Great race.
It was, and Ryan was able to switch back around him just in time to get to the start-finish line. It was some really good racing. Got us all cranked up for the racing that we're going to go see Sunday night, which was also real good. But on TV Sunday night was the Cup race and also the Indy race. The Indy League IRL had their final race of the year, which was in California. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott Dixon, I think, won the race, and Will Power won the championship, but I don't really follow that a whole lot. So it's just kind of surprising. Seems like their season is ending kind of early this year. The other race was the Cup race at Atlanta, and got to watch it last night. It was really a good race. I taped it Sunday night and just wasn't able to get around to watching it until last night. But that win by Casey Kane, I hate it that he had to beat your guy, because your guy had the field tied down.
My guy had enough guys beating on him last night, so Casey Kane, he earned that.
Yeah,
he earned that. He put it on Matt Kenseth, and he earned that win.
And he had help getting out there with his pit crew. They gave him a full round of tires there at the green white checker, and that, I do believe that was what helped him to get around that. And the first green white checker was set off by Harvick getting the Malachi Crunch. It was like Menard in the
It was Menards in the front, and it was sliced bread. Joey Logano,
yeah, Logano in the back, and they just started pushing on him and spun him right into the wall. It was
sad.
It was sad if you're a Harvick fan. It was his freak fast SS there got slow all of a sudden. So his night did not end well, but he's in the chase, and now Casey Kane is in the chase because he has a win. And he was pretty far up there in the points, so it was looking pretty good for him anyway. But the win locks him into the chase, and I know y'all hear me complain a lot about the local media and how they don't talk about racing a whole lot. Well, it was strange, or I shouldn't really say strange.
Strange to me.
Yeah, it was strange to Jamie, but that on the way home from South Sound, we listened to the local sports guy on the news channel that I listened to. And yeah, when it came time for him to talk about sports on the 10s there a couple of times, 10 and 40, he had time to talk about Seahawks football practice, because you know how important practice is.
Hey, Allen Iverson says practice.
There
We're talking about practice.
Well, Russell says the defecations in the preparation. That's what he says. That's what the Russell, Dangerous Russell says. So they talked about football practice, and then they talked about the Mariners, and I do believe they actually won Saturday night, or Sunday night, but who cares? We were watching racing, and then they talked about women's soccer.
Women's soccer?
Yeah, women's soccer, the Seattle Reign. And, they just didn't have time to ever get around to talking about Enum Claus, Casey Kane winning the Atlanta 500 and getting into the chase. I mean, I'd say that's pretty big for him, probably one of the biggest wins of his career.
Good local boy does good story, but they missed it.
They missed it. They totally missed it. So, but we who live up here know that that's one of the reasons why StockCar Scott does his little show, is so you folks that don't get to hear about it on the radio get to hear about it on the interweb. So that brings us to what we actually saw live racing. Live racing was really good this week. Really good
racing.
Yep, my brother really liked South Sound Speedway, where we spent Saturday and Sunday night for the Dennis Smitham Memorial racing that they had there, with the big Sunday night race being the 100 lap Dennis Smitham Memorial with the Outlaw West Coast Street Stocks. But first was Saturday night. Let me wet my whistle just a little bit before I get into Saturday night. Doing okay there, Jay?
Doing fantastic. This one brought to you by Monte Carlo Express Delivery.
Yes, it is. Like us on Facebook. They pay for everything for this show. They really do.
They even paid for the guest star.
There you go. They paid for the guest star to be here. I mean, Monte Carlo Express Delivery, serving your courier needs for the past decade here in the Seattle area. Like us on Facebook. Anyway, so down there at South Sound, the first night was Saturday night. They had a Legends ran, and then they had qualifying heats for the Dennis Smith Memorial Street Stock race. They had mini stocks, and they also had a late model race. It was full night of racing. And were you impressed by the racing down at South Sound?
I was impressed by the racing, the people, the track, everything about it. It was fantastic.
Well, they started off with the Legends, and we'll just skip over the heats and everything right to the mains. And when the Legend main got started off, whoa, was that quite the flipping wreck there that they had in turn 3.
Those guys race tight.
Yeah, they do. Even though I don't cover them on In the Pits that much, that was a really good night of legend racing, and that was a wicked accident. I know whoever was in that car is probably still a little sore, but they got out okay. And on to the qualifying races. You know, I should have written down who won those. One of my favorites there, Buck Knoll Jr., he did pretty good in his race. Of course, he was fast time for the Dennis Smith Memorial, so he got an extra Benjamin Franklin there in his pocket for fast time. But we'll talk more about him later, because he did not have the best Smith Memorial race there.
Could be spending that money on a transmission.
He probably will be getting that fixed. But the mini stock race that night was really, really good. All the regulars were there, and there was a really good tussle with Kevin was running up front, Kevin Conway, and all the regulars. But that PT Cruiser, Jamie had never seen a PT Cruiser racing out on the track before. And I explained to him, and of course Dennis explained to him, it's not a real PT Cruiser, but it looks like one on TV. But Dennis was able to use that thing, as he does time after time, to pass on the outside and win that mini stock race. And he is always fun to watch race. After the mini stock race was the late model main, 100 laps, and that one was won by Chad Hinkle. It was a real good race. They had kind of a small field, just about, I think, 10 cars, mostly regulars, and I did miss Parker Stevens. We were hoping he was going to show up for that race, but for whatever reason he was unable. But like I said, Chad went on to win that one. I don't think he did as well Sunday night during the Smitham Street Stocks, but he did get his trophy that weekend. And after the race, it was real nice. Got to talk to Dennis Schaefer for a little bit, the winner of the mini stock main. And you can see that interview on my YouTube channel there at StockCar Scott on YouTube. He was real nice to give us an interview.
Good guy.
He's a nice guy. He's been racing for quite a while there in the mini stocks at South Sound, and he seems to really have fun with what he's doing, and I guess that's what counts is having fun at that level.
When you run like he did the other night, it's got to be fun.
Oh yeah. And one shout out I do want to give to not only Dennis. Congratulations for your mini stock win. I want to give a shout out to his wife, Vicky. I hope I have the name right. She let me know that my die-cast dealer that I like to go to here did not go out of business, that he actually just moved, and I was able to find his new location and get my first new 1/24 scale die-cast of the year, which I got right over here. Of course, it's the Dale Earnhardt Jr. win from Daytona this year. It is so cool. It's got it's the race version with the little confetti all over it. Thank you very much, Mrs. Schaefer. I appreciate you letting me know where I could get cool die-cast again. And not only was it cool die-cast, but it came with a little memorial card there and a little bag of the confetti from the victory lane, and also a winner sticker that just like the winner sticker that Junior gets to put on his car now. I don't think I'm going to put it on my car, but we'll see. You never know. I think they'd just be asking for it when the cop walks up to me for a speeding ticket and goes, "Oh, I see you already have one winner sticker. Let me see if I can get you another one."
How you doing there, Mr. Charlie Sheen?
Yeah. Okay. Before we get off of Saturday night, another congratulations out to to Chad Hinkle on that late model win. Way to go. Okay. Sunday was the big Smitham Memorial race, and I keep looking in the wrong direction. Anyway, the big Smitham Memorial race, and that had a Legends raced again, and Bumblebees, and the mini stocks, and then the top off the night was the big Smitham Memorial race. They have, what do they call them, bumblebees or hornets in Huntsville?
Buzz. They call them the Buzz series.
The Buzz series. Okay, well, our Buzz series had the cone out in turn 1 Sunday night. Do y'all do something like that?
No.
They just let them rip in Huntsville?
Well, it's only a quarter-mile track in Huntsville, so it's not as fast.
Okay. Well, they do the cone out there to give the other guys a chance, slow them down a little bit. The leader has to go to the outside to give the second place guy a chance to pass, put a little bit more passing into it. So it was an interesting little race. And then of course there was the Legends. They had their race also, and that one was won by the number 4 of Garrett Archer. And I remember Garrett Archer. He ran a lot of late model up at Evergreen last year, so I went over to talk to him after the race and congratulate him on his win. Congratulations there on your Legend win there, Chat. I'm not going to get anything right. Archer, thank you. Anyway, so I went to talk to him, and he was telling me that he's still running late models, but he's running down in California, running a series called the Southwest Tour, Southwest Late Model Tour. And he said they run all perimeters, no straight line chassis. So he's getting a lot of experience down there. So I hope to see a lot of more things out of Mr. Archer there in the future. But on to our favorite, the mini stocks. At least it's gotten to be my favorite here lately. They had the mini stock race after the Legends, and it was won by Kevin the Warrior Conway. Aye, big shout out to Kevin. He got chased down almost right there at the end by Dennis Schaefer. Dennis Schaefer gave it all he could that night too. But Kevin was able to hold out and get him another trophy. He thought it might be his last big chance to win a race this year, because he's not really running for the points. They've got a couple more races, I think, but he decided with this win to go ahead and see if he could burn the tires all the way down.
In fine fashion.
I think he might have enough to maybe do a heat race on those tires left, but if that. But be sure to catch out Kevin's big mini stock win there on the YouTube channel, and that magnificent burnout of his after the win. That was really a lot of fun. And then the last race of the night was the big Smitham Memorial 100 street stock race, and it was another barn burner, folks. It was a great race, just as they've all the ones that I've seen at South Sound. Every year the Dennis Smitham Memorial gets better and better. Last year it was won by Facebook friend Brian Bykirk. Of course, Brian didn't have such good luck. It's kind of hard to keep up with Brian, because the only difference between his car and his owner's car was the X by the 56. They were both in the white 56 cars. But you could see Brian's car was a little different after about halfway through the race, when he got the back end tore up and a little other damage. But then I think both those 56s ended up with some kind of damage on them. Not a good night for Team Kerr Car Care. Also, not a real good night for the fastest guy with the fastest time from Selah, Washington. He usually burning up the track there at Yakima, but he decided to come over and with the West Coast Street Stocks And the number 95 there, Buck Knoll Jr., like I said, he had fast time, but then he had trouble.
Strong car, but the transmission just wouldn't hold up.
Yeah, he had changed transmission and the drive line or one or two, and he just ended up not having a car that was going to perform that night. I think he dropped out before halfway, which was quite unfortunate. He had a really strong car otherwise. The strong car was that faux Mustang.
Yeah.
Of Glenn Knutson. I did have to ask him after the race, is that really a Mustang with a Ford engine? And of course he had to admit, no, it's got to have that Chevy power in it. But it still looks good to have a car with a different front end out there. And he ran real well during the whole race. Ran up front most of it. And he really earned his win. And let's see, where's my big Glenn Knutson hero card there? I really appreciate that. Big shout out. Congratulations on your win there, Glenn. And I wanted another big hero card from the winner of the mini stock race there. I think yeah, my third hero card from Kevin the Warrior Conway. It was a great weekend of racing. It was lots of fun. It was lots of fun going back into the pits and talking to everybody, Kevin and Glenn, and just
great bunch of people.
Great bunch of folks. Very, very nice. And I think my brother had a good time. I might be able to talk him into coming back, but probably only during the racing season. What do you think?
I'll come back.
Okay. Well, that about, I think that wraps up things around here. Well, no, let's. How did we get started watching racing anyway?
Oh, you don't want to admit it, but it was our Uncle Mars.
Yeah, it was. It was my mom's younger brother.
They were all younger.
Yeah, they were all younger than her, except for Bunk. And he used to cart us off every once in a while to Huntsville Speedway. Huntsville Speedway has been in business for a long time, but unfortunately what has happened?
Up until lately, they've had some ownership changes, and the track is just stop attracting a crowd. Nobody comes to race anymore, so it's effectively shut down. It's for sale, so...
If you want to own a track in beautiful Huntsville, Alabama, it's a real nice place where they are not having urban sprawl housing developments coming out towards the track. So yeah, it's a nice little track, and we saw some of our first racing there. We saw some people you might have heard of, actually.
Oh yeah, the Allisons, Bobby and Donnie Allison, a fellow named Red Farmer. We've seen Buddy Baker, Earnhardt's race there. Petty has the only win at a NASCAR sanctioned race at Huntsville back in 1962.
And some of the locals from back then were like Bobby Hamilton Jr., Casey Atwood. You know, there were a lot of people who made their way through what's it called, the fastest quarter mile oval in the South.
That's it. Our hometown hero back when I went to watch racing was Jimmy Means. Everybody called him Jimmy Smut Means. And now the track is closed. So, you know, enjoy your tracks around here. You know, you've got the chance to enjoy them.
Oh, you don't have to warn these people. A lot of these South Sound fans used to go to Spanaway, right? Dennis Schaefer, Mike Easley, all you guys that came down from Spanaway, you know, because Spanaway got closed down and turned from a racetrack into track housing.
Oh.
So, and the only chance I was able to take a spin around Spanaway Speedway was amidst all the same floor plan houses. So, but it didn't, you know, it's not just the Huntsville Speedway that we go back with. Jamie took me to my first NASCAR race. First race that we went to was
Talladega.
Yeah, April 1995. Saw who won that day? Martin won that day. That's right. Martin won the race, and Jeff Gordon was second, but he was way back behind him. And I had not picked a favorite driver yet, and Sterling had some sort of problems early in the race, which got him off the lead lap. But after they fixed it, he was still running to beat the band. He was running faster than anybody else. So he hooked up with Jeff Gordon, another Chevy, and just about was able to use that tandem drafting deal that they used to do back then to catch Mark Martin. But Mark Martin had just an awesome fast car.
That's back when he had a Morgan McClure car, and they were already kicking butt at Daytona. They're kicking butt at Daytona. So they had the restrictor plate tracks down.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that even though he was out of the race, that he pushed another Chevy trying to make it win. I was so impressed with that I picked Sterling for my favorite driver for quite a while. Old Sterling in the Kodak car there. And of course, if you notice back here, I've got a bunch of Daytona winning cars. Got my newest diecast that I got because of Miss Schaefer, and I got my other Dale Jr. Daytona win, and also got my Sterling back-to-back win there. So yeah, racing's fun. But because of Sterling being so good that day, I went ahead and picked him as my favorite driver. And the next time we went back to the race, that was that summer at a race they used to have at the end of July.
End of July.
Oh my! It was. You people don't know what hot is until you have been at Talladega at the end of July. That was extremely hot, but I was a brand new Sterling fan, and he won the race from the pole that day, and I was just ecstatic, So it was a fun day, and got me hooked on racing forever and ever and ever. So thanks to my brother here, y'all got StockCar Scott. I just wanted you to know. Well, anything else we need to cover?
Nothing. South Sound had a great time at the track. I loved it. The track setup was great. The people were great.
The food was great.
The food was great. And something that I really appreciate was the pits outside of the track.
Yeah, that way you could see racing.
You could see everything on the track. Everything was visible. It was really nice.
It's a real nice setup. I'm sure I won't have any problem talking him into going again sometime.
Not at all.
This weekend, I'm kind of worn myself out, so I don't know if I'll be going to see any local racing. Plus, there's the last race before the Chase. They're racing at Richmond. Somebody's going to try to get into the Chase that's not in, so be sure to watch it on Saturday night on ABC. It's on the Big Time Network this weekend. So, until then, folks, I'd like to again thank my younger brother Jamie for making the trip up here from Alabama and being here with me on In the Pits. And I hope to see all y'all race fans when I get out to the track again. Probably going to be South Sound for some mini stocks around the 13th, I do believe. But until then, we'll see y'all race fans at the track.